Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Coons and I'm going to do a video today that I'm starting to think is kind of an obligation as a YouTuber. I used to think these videos were kind of dumb and kind of self-serving, but the more comments I get, the more interaction I have with the people that watch this channel, the more I know people love to hear about the gear you use. So I want to do a short video today about what is in my bag in 2025. Couple things. Number one, I think for the first time in my career, I have got all the lenses that I think I need. Usually there's always this one lens out there that, you know, I'm aiming to get. I actually think I have all the lenses I want this year. I don't really have any others that are on my list. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly and let you know what I do. But before I get started, let me do this. If you've not been to the channel before, you don't know who I am. I am, by and large, a commercial advertising stock photographer. I do a lot of portraits, headshots that kind of break off from those kind of things. I do some weddings, definitely do some events, corporate events, that kind of thing. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I advertise for restaurants. I do a little bit of real estate. And then I do a lot of product work here in the studio, and I produce this channel, the things that we do on this channel. So that's the kind of work I do. I'm a big believer that the things that are in my bag are tools. I love my gear, but it's not a toy, it's a tool. If you make a living as a photographer, these things are tools. So those are the things that I shoot. So I think the things in my bag are going to reflect the tools that I need to do that type of work. So here we go, real quick. My main camera is a Fuji X-T4. I've shot with this thing for probably the last 3, maybe 4 years. Absolutely love this little camera. I made the jump to Fuji back then because I had fallen in love with the X100. So I just went Fuji altogether. 26 megapixel camera. I've never had a client say, hey, that's too small. So I know they've got bigger, better 40 megapixels and on up. Love the X-T4. I have the vertical grip on it. I did that mainly because, I'll be honest with you, I like the fact that it makes the camera bigger. It looks a little more impressive when you go out on a shoot with a client. But I also like the fact that it's got extra batteries in it now. And so at an event, I'm not worried about a battery running out because there's 3 batteries in here. Just acquired this lens in the last 6-8 months. I switched from the 16 to 80 to the 16 to 55 f2.8. This is the first version. This isn't the latest, greatest one that came out. But I got a great deal on it, so I got it. I got rid of the 16 to 80, which I did like. Really like that lens, actually. This one's got a 2.8 versus a 4 that the 16 to 80 had. I wasn't a big believer that you had to have 2.8, but it does come in handy. So if I'm doing an event, I will shoot a lot of the grip and grin, run around type stuff at f2.8. Works my flash a little bit less, and I've had great success with it. 99% of the images are dead on focus. So even at 2.8, shallow depth of field, I've not had a problem. This camera really seems to handle that very, very well. Next lens, which probably one of my favorite lenses, it is the 80 millimeter macro. Absolutely love this lens. If you've heard me talk about it on this channel, you know. I love it for product work. It does great portrait stuff. I love it for headshots. Fantastic, amazingly sharp, fantastic. Next lens that I have, this is probably my least used lens these days, 10 to 24. The reason I got this lens was to do real estate. I needed that super wide angle lens, and I just don't shoot a lot of real estate. I do it some, and so when I do, this thing comes in handy. It's fantastic, very sharp, no problems with that. And then the latest thing that I added to my arsenal, which I would say completes all my line of lenses that I want or need, and that is the 50 to 140. In the full frame world, this would kind of be a 70 to 200, which I don't know. This is just phenomenal lens. Crazy sharp. I love the tripod mount. I put it on a monopod. I do portraits with it. You can go vertical or horizontal, super easy with it. Absolutely love this lens. Except for the 16 to 55, this is probably on my camera the most. Yeah, love it. Okay, so X-T4, those 4 lenses are the workhorses. If you know my channel, you know I'm more about lighting than I am about camera equipment. If you don't know how to do good lighting, you're going to be lost. By and large, I carry around 3 lights. I've got 2 Godox V1s. These are the original ones. As far as the speed light is concerned, fantastic. I have no problems with them. They fire every time. You know, a speed light only recycles so fast, so I can't complain about that. I'm not somebody who shoots super fast anyway, so recycle time is fine. And then the workhorse light is the Godox AD100. Love this little light. I wish I had a couple more, but to be honest with you, if I added anything to my bag this year, I've got my eye on the Godox AD300s. I might get a couple of those. So, but I mean, they're a little bit bigger. So the size is super nice with these guys. The 300 give me a little extra power, but they are bigger. So the 3 lights that I have, I can do 90% of what I do, if not 95% of what I do, certainly on location, no problems. And so by and large, that is what is in my bag in 2025. But I've got to show you one last thing before I go. The biggest upgrade to what's in my bag in 2025 is the bag itself. Okay, so I switched bags altogether, and I got a deal on this, so I thought I'm going to go for it. I was starting to get to a place where I was outgrowing my bag. Okay, so for years I used this bag. Just a pretty traditional camera bag, but I was starting to outgrow it. I mean, when I got the 50 to 140, it was just too much. I couldn't fit everything in that bag, and I was kind of at this crossroads. Do I get 2 bags, put the lighting in one bag and the cameras in another bag, and then you got to carry 2 things? And I found a deal on this, so I've switched to a Pelican case. Now, if you've ever used one of these, they're fantastic. They're made like tanks. They're just fantastic. Everything I've showed you fits in this Pelican case. Now, the drawback to this Pelican case is that it weighs 15 pounds when there's not even anything in it. So it's heavy. This bag weighed 5 pounds. So I've tripled the weight in the bag alone. However, it is on wheels. Now, I've taken it to a couple of shoots. It's worked really, really well. It's nice. Being that it's on wheels, you don't have to carry it too far. It's easy to get in and out of it. So far, so good. I don't know. The verdict's probably a little bit out as to whether I'll stick with that. It's not a huge Pelican case. I guess I could go bigger. But this stuff fills it. There's not a lot of room to put anything more in there. So yeah, I don't know. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about subscribing. Leave a comment if you would. I would love to hear your solutions to bags. If you carry all this stuff to a photo shoot, what is the most efficient way to do it without having 42 different bags? You know, let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, do you notice I'm in the middle of my studio? There's no bed in here anymore. I've got the studio back. We're gonna start shooting in the next couple of weeks, so look forward to that, and I will see you then. Wait, stop. I almost forgot one of the most important pieces of equipment in my bag, and that is the Fuji X100VI. I almost forgot it because it was filming the beginning of this video, which is the first time I've used it for video. What do you think? It seemed like it did pretty well. The sound sounded okay. It seemed to be tracking all right. This little camera is my go-to when it comes to taking it everywhere I go. It's the phenomenal travel camera, stock camera. you know, it's just that camera that you want to take everywhere you go because it's not so big and clunky. This is what got me started in the Fuji world, actually the X100V. I switched to the 6. Love this little camera as well. Yeah, and I know there's a big long waiting list of people trying to get this thing, so I am humbled and honored that I actually own one. So can't forget it. It is, I don't know, maybe one of the best cameras I ever owned. I just love taking it everywhere I go. So X-T4, X100VI, those are my two workhorse cameras. Yeah, that's what's in my bag.